Hi everyone, welcome to Testpad India. So in this session, we will look into the elimination techniques in reading comprehension. Generally, a test taker will encounter considerable difficulty in identifying the correct answer in two cases. The first case is when the options are too similar, and the second case is and more than one option seems to be inherently correct. However, if we know these 8 techniques, then we can eliminate each and every option and you will be left with only one option which is the right one. So you can tick mark that and you can get that right. The first one is verbosity. So all these eight are option traps. So we must learn them whenever we are solving RCs. We must keep these in our mind. So verbosity. See, certain options are too verbose to be correct. If we take any RC set, the options which are very verbose, too verbose, are very common. So these options will unnecessarily elaborate upon the actual idea and add a few redundant or few repeated ideas to give the appearance of a more complete answer. So verbose options, which can be recognized by their extra length, are a direct indicator of this type of trap and are to be eliminated. So the correct option is always the one that gives the complete picture in the most precise manner. So the next time when you see any option which is too verbose, that is which has got an extra length than the usual ones, just eliminate it. The second one is vagueness. So these kind of options use short sentences and impressive words to give the appearance of being apt. So they appear to be very true. However, these options end up being incomplete. These options end up being vague. So the best answer is not judged by its length. So never select an option which is vague, that is its implication, when its implication is not clear. So just eliminate these kind of options the moment you identify them. So the third one is contradiction. So these options are the easiest to eliminate. Why? Because they tend to contradict the passage. So either explicitly or implicitly they tend to contradict. If we want to detect an explicit or contradiction, just we can read the passage. We can do it just by reading the passage. Whereas the implicit contradictions are easier to discover, but they require a clear understanding of the passage. The next one is irrelevance. So these kind of options are not very relevant. They are not related to the question and are usually used to fill up the emptiness, fill up the gap. So these options might be based on an unrelated part of same passage, or might not be related to the entire passage at all. So like these vague options, the irrelevant options are also framed using impressive words and impressive phrases that give an intellectual feel to them. So these traps can be identified easily if you have comprehended the question correctly, and whenever you find these impressive phrases and words, just be careful, and if it's not relevant, just eliminate it. The fifth one is exaggeration. So what are these? These options are extreme, very extreme in nature, and in one word we can say they are biased. So they will take the idea a bit too far. Like whenever you find the words such as all, none, never, always, only, must, should. So these kind of words indicate extremity. Also, the degree with which the author agrees should remain consistent. You must be very careful, and you can directly eliminate the options which are very extreme in nature. So for instance, if more is there, then in options it cannot be most. So that difference we must identify. The next one is repetition. So these kind of options will have certain phrases in common with the correct option, that thus leading to confusion in the mind of the test takers. And the best approach to take in case of questions where the options have repeated phrases is to read the options without these phrases, or you can simply take these common phrases and analyze the remaining part of the option. See, repetition is generally used to increase the option length so that it becomes somewhat difficult to read. So incompleteness. So these options can be partially correct, and they also furnish incomplete information. So the moment you see any option to be partially correct, by looking into that correctness, that 40% or 50% of correctness, don't tick that one, don't select that option because the remaining part is wrong. And remember one thing, for every correct answer, in every correct answer, there won't be any wrong part. But in a wrong option, there will be something which is correct, right? So when you select any option, you must be sure that each and every part of that option is 100% correct, 100% relevant with that particular passage. And the last one is the writing style. So these kind of options are the hardest to eliminate among these 8 options. This writing style, this option is the hardest option to eliminate because they will have a lot in common with the actual answer, but will not be framed in the same style as the passage. Generally, the correct option is synchronized with the passage in terms of style. So what do we do in these cases is the options which are out of style fall short only on this one count. So these options are typical examples of the case where there are two correct answers, but one is more appropriate than the other. So eliminating these correct but inappropriate options requires a complete understanding of the way in which the author has presented his views in that particular RC. So you need to have some practice before you can attain proficiency at identifying them. So in the upcoming videos, what we do is we will delve into the main theme, like the types of questions, like the central idea, on the main theme, the point of view of the author, the attitude of the author, and all other remaining types. And then we move on to the styles and tones of the passage. So if you know these concepts, these techniques, you will it will definitely help in eliminating the wrong options and choosing the right ones. And it also helps in comprehending the passage. So at least read 2 articles from various sources like Aeon Essays or the New York Times or any other magazine, the Guardian or something like that. So that helps you in understanding the structure of the article, structure of the passages, and the connection between two passages. So thank you very much and all the very best.